EDSA here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time stopping by. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Lil Phantasm Lenormand by Andrew and Christopher of Lil Dark Arts. Let's get into it. I'm very excited to be able to share with you a first look at this deck, which is currently funding on Kickstarter. They have not quite reached their funding goal, but they're awfully close at the time I'm filming, and I'm hoping that by the time you see this video, it's already funded. But if not, if you enjoy this deck, if you resonate with this deck, get your little booty over there and back it, because this is the cutest thing ever. If you don't already know, Christopher and Andrew of Little Dark Arts are the illustrators of Peggy's Sassy Dragons Tarot, which we're working on right now and we're hoping to bring to Kickstarter in a little bit. But I have been big fans of their art style for a while now, beginning with their Lil Cryptid Oracle, which some of you may be familiar with. This little deck, oh my gosh, we're going to show this first and then I'll get into the Lenormand. But the Lil Cryptid is the cutest dang thing. I absolutely love it. It is adorable artwork, all cryptids, great little keywords, wonderful, wonderful art. And I just became big fans back when this deck came out. So I think I was able to share actually a preview of this as well while the Kickstarter, maybe just before their Kickstarter for this one. This is like literally the cutest thing. I absolutely love the whimsy and just absolute cuteness of everything that they do. I don't even have the right words for it. So I was stoked to find out they were bringing a Lenormand deck, and it is not just any Lenormand deck. So we're going to be talking about that and all of the details. But Little Cryptid is also super, super adorable. I believe at the time I'm filming this that they are just now out of print or about to be out of print. I think they only had a couple of copies left on their website. They are probably going to be bringing a reprint of Little Cryptid back to Kickstarter in the future. But for now, this one's on pause. But oh my gosh, it is so stinking cute. Anyways, they have chosen again to go with a tin for Lil Phantasm Lenormand. And let me tell you, as a creator, tins are ambitious, particularly a tin like this that has got full wraparound artwork. Like, this must have taken them forever to figure out how to line it all up and make it perfect. But what I think is really special about Lil Phantasm, and we'll get into this more as we get into the cards, is that it's really designed to connect with the spirit world. If that is something that you're interested in, it can also obviously just function as a, everyday Lenormand. But I think what makes it special is that connection to the spirit world. I think another thing that makes this special is that Christopher brought some of his heritage into this deck. It is going to be bilingual, so it will be available to read in both Spanish and English. I don't know if that's going to be two different versions, or if, I think it's going to be, there must be both a Spanish and an English version. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work. I'm sure they told me, and I'm sorry for not having the information, but they do want the deck to be bilingual. So available in both English and Spanish, because that is part of the point of this deck, right? Is to sort of honor that background. But oh my gosh, the tin is so super cute. So in the deck, you do get little keyword cards. This is great, especially if you're newer to Lenormand, and this could not come at a better time because I'm doing a Lenormand series right now, so I'm super stoked. You will probably see this in an upcoming Learn Lenormand with me video because I'm so happy to have this in hand. Look at the backs for just a minute here. Look at how freaking cute with all the little candles and the little spirit peeking out from behind the tombstone there on the top. Oh my gosh. So super cute. Love that design. And this sample deck is a prototype, so this may not fit the final version, but it is edged, which is I believe that is a stretch goal at right now their main goal is, I believe, 10,000. Hold on, let me give you an update on the Kickstarter, because we're going to be talking about stretch goals for sure, but I believe the deck will get edged. Yeah, when they reach 10,000 US dollars in their campaign, the deck will be edged. Right now, their minimum goal is, oh, it tells me in Canadian. It's 88.50 US, which, I feel like at a minimum, they should hit that goal. But I really want them to get to stretch goals and not just the card edging. I want them to get to other ones. I'll tell you why, because there's super fun, exciting ones in here. But the card edging happens once they reach $10,000 US funding. Then they'll be able to add the colored edging to the cards, which I just think is lovely. And it's a matte colored edging, which is really lovely and fits the theme of the deck, which has this colorway of like sort of these grays and pops of this beautiful, like, kind of marigold orange. I say marigold because it makes me think of marigolds, but it's like this kind of rich orangish tone. It actually kind of matches my background. Well, that's actually, look, I picked a good background. Anyway, so there will be keyword cards. These are great because, so for example, for writer, you have news, movement, activity, speed, and change. These are great, particularly, like I said, if you're new to Lenormand, just to have a little cheat sheet. So these will come in the tin with the deck. which the tin is also lined with a little bit of what feels like felt as well, which is amazing. This is on a really nice sturdy indie cardstock. So like a 350 GSM art paper with a lovely matte coating that gives it that kind of beautiful, it's not rose petal, it is like that scratch resistant coating, if you know. It's a matte lamination, so it's got that kind of buttery, sort of smooth luxe feel for sure. We're gonna look at all of the cards for sure. Okay, let me just zoom in. We're gonna put us right in the middle of the coffin here on my table, and we're gonna zoom in. So on every card, you have the Lenormand number, which appears up in the top left here in the little skull. And then you have the playing card association. So the rider here is the 9 of hearts. You also have down at the bottom the actual title of the card written on there. So you're not guessing. This is really, really great because especially when we stray from like the traditional, just super basic symbol on a card, having the title on there just means you don't have to like pause and like try to figure out what you're looking at. You can tell right away. But here on Rider, our little ghost spirit friend is riding a kite through the graveyard, and I'm obsessed. Some of you guys know that I actually read the graveyard book every year around this time, and I just finished reading it, and this is just giving me all the vibes. Here we have Clover. This is perfect because it captures the mood of the card, right? Like here we really get the movement and the like news and information coming through, like this idea of like it's coming towards us as the viewer of the card. Here in Clover, our little ghost friend is like literally like rolling on their back, like just loving, like being in this like little moment of happiness in Clover, which just works really well. I love the paper boat. I love the paper boats for ships. Excuse me. That is really, really cute. House, of course, our little ghosty house would be where they've taken up residence in this little like graveyard cottage. Maybe this is like the graveyard keeper's cottage. Love that for house. Tree, you can see our little spirit friend. So the symbols do still take center stage. What I find also really cool about this, I don't know if you've noticed so far, I definitely have. The main symbol of the card is highlighted in orange. So you're not hunting through the card trying to figure out what it is. Like here it's the vehicle, right? It's the kite that the spirit is riding. Here the orange shows up in the pops of clover. It's the clover we're paying attention to. Here it's the ship, so it's the ship that's orange. Here it's the house is orange. Here in the tree is orange. Do you see the theme? So sometimes what happens in Lenormands is if they're particularly busy, it can be difficult to spot the primary symbol or to like hone in on it. And having a more minimal color palette where it's kind of like these shades of sort of blue, gray, and gray, and then this pop of orange, it immediately helps you identify what card you're looking at without having to necessarily go right to the title. Even though there's a fair amount happening in the cards, it doesn't feel too distracting because that limited color palette helps you hone in. Here we have clouds, and we do have a more difficult side and a more bright, hopeful side, and our little ghost friend is looking toward that brighter side, which is cool. Here we have snake. The snake, of course, is in that orange and kind of coiled all around our little spirit friend. Okay, I just have to, for the sake of the coffin. It's coffin card. What I think is really cool about this particular coffin card is that we're actually seeing the perspective as if we are in the coffin looking up, which is really unique. I don't know that I've seen that on a coffin card, but again, we are the ones experiencing the energy of the card. So seeing it this way is really cool. You can see the dirt is kind of being tossed on top of you. Really cool. Bouquet, and again, the flowers are orange. Look, it's flowers for one of the gravestones. Scythe. I love that the primary symbols are big and bold and obvious. They are definitely taking up the majority of the real estate on the card. The spirit isn't like taking center stage. Again, that's really important to me as a reader when I see cards like this that bring more sort of elements into the card. Here we have whip, and we can see the end of the whip there. Really powerful. And then we have birds. The little, oh my God, the cuteness. I cannot. The way the spirit is like dangling, almost like they're eavesdropping on this like little chitter chatter gossipy conversation of the birds is amazing. Youth instead of child. So we have, love that. Oh my gosh. With the little lightning bugs. Aww. This one, obviously the character is taking center stage for obvious reason, right? Here we have fox. And the little fox looks like it's in a play bow, which is the best thing I think I've ever seen. Such a puppy moment. And then we have bear, big bear taking up the center of the card, and then our little spirit friend is just like he's riding him. It's so cute. Star. I like that we have lots of stars in the sky and then one primary star. That's kind of cool. You can kind of see that idea of it spreading out or networking out, which is cool, depending on how you read the card. Then we have stork. I love that our stork is in motion. That's amazing. Fabulous. A lot of times we see them just like on the ground. Oh my God, look at the dog is giving kisses. I am obsessed with this. This is so cute. Oh my goodness. Look at this squishy little ghost. Oh my God, I am dying. This is so cute. Okay. Tower. This is amazing. It looks like our ghostie is like kind of in this sort of monument, sort of being by themselves, kind of setting themselves apart. Also, we have, of course, that structure and that sort of way, the perspective of looking up towards it is really cool. It gives you a sense of the height of it. Garden. Love that. We're nurturing all the flowers. Mountain. Here, our little spirit friend is just looking at like, oh, it's gonna be a haul. It's gonna be a climb. Again, we have that pop of orange on the mountain to just draw our eye right to that card. Perfect. Or to that symbol. Crossroads. I love this. I like when the card, it gives you a path and that path can connect to two other cards. So if you had a card here and here, I'm going to just keep them face down for the sake of the argument. But if you had a card to either side like that, you could say, okay, this path is one option. This path is the other option. I like when we can actually do that, whether it's above and below or side to side or both of them are up here. It doesn't matter as long as it's pointing somewhere. I really like that a lot. Next we have mouse. The mouse is actively eating away at some little acorns underneath this leaf and have been caught by our little spirit friend. Oh my goodness. My whole heart just like melted at this one. The way they're hugging this like heart-shaped leaf to themselves. Oh my goodness. How do you not literally just like die looking at the cuteness? I cannot. This is so freaking cute. And I don't think I have any Lenormand decks that feel like they're perfect for this time of year, but this really feels like the one. And I love that because for me, Lenormand decks, I don't need lots and lots of themes, but I love having a deck that has a certain mood or vibe or season to kind of pull out at a particular time of year and work with. Oh, I hope they do one that's kind of like more, I don't know, it'd be fun to see different seasonal energies come through with this kind of thing. Anyway, okay. Book. Love that we're actively like looking in it and at it. And it looks like there are some astrological glyphs kind of, if you look closely in that card, in that book. Letter. Perfect. Active. Okay, this is great. Instead of our man card, we have active. So we have an active energy and we have a little spirit guy on this swing. So I love the gender neutral choice as the, I love decks, Lenormand decks that do this. It really gives so much flexibility. So you have the active energy and then you have the passive energy instead of the woman card. I think that is such a great, look at the way they're engaging with the swing. That is so smart. I love that. Oh, I'm so happy about that. That's fabulous. And like looking at this, I can immediately see me and Peggy in these cards without having to think about gender or any of the other stuff. It's like, oh yeah, this would be me, this would be Peggy. Like everybody knows, like that's how it would go. And I love that I can just immediately put this to use in my own life without having to worry about like, okay, yeah, okay, I'll give Peggy the man card. It's fine. You know what I mean? Like it's great. I love it. So here we have Lily. I love this so much. Oh, look at the sun. I love the celebration energy. I love the jubilance and the joy. Amazing. And then the moon. Oh my gosh, our little sleeping ghostie. And look at the moon faces on the tombstone. The little details in this are just so great. The key. Love that it's kind of like slightly out of reach and the ghostie is about to find it. And it's like up here on the top of this. This is ghostie now to me. That little character is just ghostie. And then we have fish. Love that there's multiple fish. I get real annoyed when Lenormand cards only have like one fish. Like the whole point, like to me, when I think of abundance and the fact that fish represent often money and abundance and finances, I want to see like more than one. I just do. So I love that this ghostie seems to be surrounded by these little fishies. Almost like the ghostie's kind of fallen into or is diving down into a little pond. You can kind of look up and see the tips of the trees up there. So you get this perspective that we're down in the water with the ghostie as he's playing with the fish. Anchor. Love it. If you can hear my dog, I'm sorry, she's snoring. And then we have cross. And it's like a tumbled over tombstone kind of marker. Oh, and then we have a great yes and no card. Okay, that's amazing. I am obsessed with this. I would definitely, oh, I don't know, do I shuffle these in? I think I do. I think I do. So I'm going to just already shuffle. Let's just zoom out. It shuffles just beautifully. The nice thing about Lenormand cards is even if the card stock's a little bit heftier, like this is a 350 GSM, so it's got some sturdiness to it, right? They still shuffle quite nicely, and it's like a playing card size deck, right? Lenormand decks are often, oh, I didn't really speak to the size, but yeah, this is a really great size for Lenormand. It's a little bit chunky if you're going to lay out a huge, huge spread, but it's not too big at all. It's that classic, like, to me, this is like poker size, I think, and that's just such a great size for just everyday use Lenormand, especially if you're the type to lay out 3 and 9 card spreads primarily. This is going to be fabulous for that. And I only say that as somebody who tends to reach for like teeny tiny minis for like the Grand Tableau, which I've done like all of like 4 times in my life probably at this point, but still. Okay. Let's just lay out a few cards together. I do Lenormand most in 3 cards. So let's just lay out. So we have key, mountain. The key to overcoming obstacle is going to be in commitment, making a commitment, like really locking things down. So many cool ways to read Lenormand. I'm just doing some quick fire. Mouse, birds. Okay, so I kind of get this as like harmful gossip or the kind of chitter chatter that sort of eats away at something. But it's ending with a yes, almost like that's going to lead you where you need to go. It's going to, that kind of, even though it's not the best way to go about it, that information will still take you where you need to be. I'm just curious, like how is this going to play out? Cross, clouds, that's heavy. But it ends with sort of, oh, it's kind of like this is what's behind our passive ghosty. I just want to keep going. Clover, coffin. These are really easy to read. Sometimes, like I worry, like I've shown you guys, in my Lenormand series, I've shown some decks where there's a lot going on. There's nothing slowing me down with pulling these and knowing what I'm looking at, right? Like whip and book. Ooh, nutty book. It's just where my brain went. Snake and house, right? There's like a snake in a garden. There's a snake in the house. Something's going on. Snake at home. Something's going wrong at home. Bouquet and heart. This is a very loving message, a gift of love. Fish and bear. This is probably like a boss at work, maybe the manager or CEO. I don't know. Ship and scythe. So maybe a trip cut short. Like just like very easy to read. Again, I think the fact that the imagery is done in such a smart way with this limited color palette and these pops of orange makes it so easy to hone in on the symbol. I didn't even find myself having to look at the word. And when I first saw the previews of these cards, I wasn't sure. I was like, okay, it's going to be great. I know it's going to be great because I love their art, but is it going to be so detailed that I can't hone in on the symbol? And I'm finding my eyes go right to it. This is like our cute, ghosty adorableness, like spooky season, Samhain season, ancestor season, Lenormand, and I am here for it. So I am really hoping we can get all the stretch goals unlocked because, okay, first of all, I already told you the first stretch goal is to get colored edges, which we of course know we want. We want to have the colored edges. That's just like a given, right? And then the next stretch goal after that is spirit dice. Excuse me? And I have them to show you because they sent me a prototype. So let's pull these out. These are so cool, and I am freaking hoping they can get this to the stretch goal because look at them. Just look at them. They're little wooden dice with letters. Who needs a Ouija board if you can have spirit dice? I want like 2 sets of these. Like if they hit this stretch goal, I hope that they make extra sets available as an add-on because I'm gonna need, like they're giving such a generous amount. I think I asked them, I reached out, I was like, are backers gonna get this many? First of all, if we hit this stretch goal, and I asked them, I'm pretty sure, I don't think they would have sent them to me like this if this isn't exactly what you were going to get. But there's 15 little wooden dice here, which I think is a really good number. So they chose wood instead of metal because they wanted something that felt organic, that could kind of hold on to energy in that way. I think this is really lovely because you could totally anoint these with an oil and I think they'd take it really well. Wood is really great for that. Each one has letters. I'm assuming we have at least the whole alphabet. I'm not sure how they split all of these up. I'm not even going to worry about it. What I am going to do is show you how they work. So the idea with this, and you could cast these. Now, hello, let's pause for a second. Y'all know I'm into dice, right? Like Dawn and I know I can't shut up about it, but we made a whole dice casting system. I just really want to get my little dice tray out. We made a whole dice casting system using D&D dice. So this is going to incorporate so well with my other divination stuff that I cannot freaking wait. But so you could cast this over your tarot. You could cast this with obviously with your Lil Phantasm Lenormand. I mean, when you read what the guys have to say about why they created this, they wanted this to be potentially a tool for those who want to use it like that for spirit communication, but in a really friendly and positive way, a way that you could connect. I think this is really inspired by a lot of culture and cultural practices that involve honoring and or communicating with one's ancestors or spirits. And I just think it's really, really well done. So imagine doing a reading to have a conversation with spirit using the Lenormand cards to get a reading, to begin that conversation, and then casting the spirit dice, which, the way these work, you obviously want to focus on your message and really bring some intentionality to it, right? If you focus on your message, you cast your dice, and then you're looking. Okay, that one's cocked. I'm going to re-roll this one right here. Okay, and then we're just going to see. I'm going to just look at this and see what pops out. So I'm just playing. I was just playing with my dice to see what I could form. And here's some things that came out to me. I got house, net, could have been 10. I got B. I'm sure there's other stuff that I could have made out of this combination of letters that came down. One of the things they mentioned in their little info sheet to me is you could be looking for initials, you could be looking for certain words, you could look for sounds. So what sounds come out if there's a lot of, say, E's or oohs or like whatever, how does that sound to you? How can you engage with this kind of, oh gosh, I just think this is the coolest thing. Let me do another cast and just see. Because I feel like with house and B and net, there's already a bunch of messaging I can get from those. And I would use them almost like Lenormand, right? If you can get a word of a symbol, you can work with that Lenormand style, right? So almost like bonus cards. So let me cast some more. Ooh, let me get that one in there. Okay, it says meditate. Like that, if nothing else, it's a lot of fun to add this as a layer. So if I were to take this out of my caster, something else you could do. So this is just me looking for words and letters and just playing with the dice kind of by themselves. But imagine I laid down, let's just do this. Let me put my dice over here. Get over here. Okay. Imagine I'd done a 3-card reading specifically to connect with spirits or ancestors. And I pull fish, so we have that money card. Bouquet, so this is like a gift of money or some sort of financial windfall almost. And then we have snake, but maybe there's something negative. There's a warning about it. There's something bad about this gift of money, something to keep an eye out for. So with that in mind, let me just see if I get any other clarity with the dice over top. I'm closing my eyes and I'm just going to kind of drop them on top. Okay. What do we have? I feel like there's a huge cluster on the bouquet. This might make me think that there's like, it's going to feel like a lot of money. These are almost all vowel sounds. What's this? It looks, I think that's a G, but it's backwards. I'll have to mention that to the guys. I bet that's just a misprint. I think that's just a misprint. So if we go, go, goo, zoo. Oops, that was it. That was that G. So it could be zoo. Interesting. What does zoo make me think of? When I think of a zoo, I think of like almost like a trap, like being caged in a sense. This money represents something that's going to bind us, lock us down. O. O to me is a surprise. Like, oh, not great. The F on top of fish just feels like it emphasizes the fish card. And those are the ones that landed on top. The G, E, and U could be like glue. We could go like glue. That's another sticky substance. Again, it feels very sticky. This gift feels sticky. Like it's not something that maybe should be trusted. So that's kind of one way you could work with the spirit dice. But I just think it's really freaking clever to have a dice system that you can cast with letters. And I don't know how they figured out what went where or whatever, but there seems to be a good amount of vowels in every cast. So you can definitely make sounds and make words. I feel like I could play with these all frickin' day. Look, I even got fish again. Fish. Heat again. I think I had heat before. Heat keeps coming up. Interesting. What else we got? Ooh, we've got a quest. I know there's no T, but I feel like I'm getting quest as well. Again, we have an O, another surprise. Then we have an X and a Y here. Cool, 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 cool. Almost looks like sorry. If you were to say it phonetically, sorry. Heat, quest, fish. Oh, sorry. I mean, fun, right? Oh my God, so cool. Anyways, I hope they hit the stretch goal for these because I think these are super neat. I think they really go with the vibe of the deck. Actually, why am I putting them away? Let's just keep them out all aesthetically. Like I'm a real YouTuber, right? Isn't that what we do? We're supposed to like, or Instagram or whatever, supposed to like lay stuff out cute like. Clearly I just don't bother. Okay, but the other stretch goal I really hope they meet is for the bonus cards. So if they meet the next stretch goal, which is at $13,000 US, which I think is totally doable. Their goals are not very high. I think they can definitely meet them. Then there's a little packet of stretch goals so you can customize your deck even further. So there's an actual man and woman if you do want the man and woman card, and these are super cute. They look like little statues, like little busts. which is so cute. And then there's a child instead of a youth. So you kind of have these very traditional kind of people cards you could put into your deck if you prefer. And there's just a straight up masculine and feminine if you prefer this over the active passive. So you can customize your deck further. So I think it'd be really great if these were able to go in there, because then you also have extras. You could play with putting extras in your deck. So for example, let's say I wanted to read, but I wanted to do from a Lenormand reading for my family, and I wanted to have the active passive for me and Peggy, and then maybe a masculine for our son, or whatever. Like, there's different ways to do this kind of stuff, but very, very cool, and I'm super excited about this in general. I'm going to put these extra cards under our little keyword cards. Okay, I'm super stoked about this. I think this is the cutest dang thing ever. I really want to see this fund. Like I said, this is currently on Kickstarter now. It is funding until, or rather you have until Thursday, October 31st at 7 a.m. Pacific time if you want to get in on this and if you want to back it. I think this is a special Lenormand deck for sure. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this, especially with an emphasis on spirit communication. And I don't think I've seen a bilingual Spanish-English Lenormand on Kickstarter. Not to say that they don't exist, and maybe they do somewhere, but I haven't seen one. Mind you, I haven't been looking, so that's fair too. But I mean, come on. It's so stinking cute. Let's get this one over the line. We're so close. And like I said, hopefully by the time you see this video, it's already funded and we're already well on our way to the spirit dice and the bonus cards and the edging and all of that kind of stuff. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. As always, an extra big thank you goes out to the Unicorn fam, channel members. Thank you so much for your support of the channel. Of course, thank you to Christopher and Andrew for sending me an early copy of this so I could share it with all of you. And thank you to those of you who are watching, commenting, and of course, please do subscribe if you enjoy seeing videos about tarot, oracle, Lenormand, all the things, all the divination things. Definitely subscribe because I make lots of videos about just this topic. So hang out with me in the future and I will see you in my next video. Until then, may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye.